Welcome on back, everybody, to season, I can't believe this, 6 of Listening to the Voices in Our Heads. Today, we're hanging out with somebody many of you know from the YouTube and author tubing spaces, and I dare say she's a Hardy and more. Let's go ahead and hang out with one of our favorite people in the world, JD, shall we? Again, welcome on back to Listening to the Voices in Our Heads, where creative minds and their creative processes do get together and talk about what it's like living in a world that's not always built and made for them. And I have a friend here. We have a JD. How are you doing?
I'm surviving. How are you?
I'm doing great. Go ahead and tell us all about you, what you write, where we can find you, and more.
So I am JD Robinson. I write under that name. And I write urban fantasy, some portal fantasy kind of stuff, with a little dash of sci-fi on the side too. You can find me at SachulaWrites.com and Amazon, all the book vendors, and here on YouTube as well.
That's actually how we got to know each other, I think.
Yes, that's right.
It's a lot of bits. So you've been on YouTube longer than I have. When has your journey begun with writing in general?
With writing in general, it's been a long time. I started writing back in middle school, actually, and with poetry, of course, you know, all that stuff. But actually, it was early high school. I was living overseas and as a military brat. I was in New Zealand, and there is no base in New Zealand. So there was no Dodge school in New Zealand. So I ended up at this boarding school as a day student. And I really got into reading then after the whole Harry Potter thing got started. And what was really cool was after that, I found one of my favorite authors. Oh, I got to remember her name now. She wrote Demon in My View. Amelia Atwater's Rose. There we go.
Thank you. I had the last name, not the first name.
Yes, I know. One of my favorite authors. And so after I read Demon in My View, I read the bio in the back. And I'm like, she is only 1 year older than I am. And I was like, well, if some kid can go and write a book, I can write a book, right? And what was really cool then was that the school I was at actually had authors in residence. Like each year they would have an author in residence or something like that. And so I wrote my first story. I never finished it. I think I wrote the first 3 chapters or something. And I submitted it to, I don't even know who the author was now. But I submitted it to an author, and they critiqued it and marked it up and said, this is a great start. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I could actually do this. And so ever since then, I have been writing and working towards publication. And then shortly, I think it was finally in 2011, I was in a critique group with Sarah Cannon, and we were, you know, good friends. And she started self-publishing. I started self-publishing, and here we are. So.
And you all can imagine how I met her. We both do the Hardy admin thing. Yeah. And we had a joy of meeting face to face a couple times. She drove up from where she lives to Hagerstown, and a couple of us went and got, wasn't sushi, but I
think they had
bowls or ramen.
Yeah. Ramen bowls, like yakiniku kind of things. Yeah.
And then we did the Right Women's Book Fest this summer. which
just a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Y'all, that was a blast. Seriously.
It was great. It was great to hang out.
Yeah, really, truly. So, in general, then, you've been at this for a very long time. Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for people writing with a busy schedule? Because your mom, you do martial arts, and wherever your kids are homeschooled, they have activities too.
Yes.
And you like a big family in your house. So how do you balance it all, my dear?
I don't. I don't. There is no balance. I think that is the key. It's like, don't look for balance. Fit it in where you can. Expect things to fall through the cracks. And don't expect perfection from yourself. One of the prime examples, like today, like I was in Orlando last week hanging out with another friend of mine, and I've been back for like a day or two. My suitcase is still packed. I'm still unpacking. I am still catching up on laundry. I wanted to clean my office before we had this lovely rendezvous today. I did not. It is a hot mess. Hot mess. So I really I do not expect anything from myself. And I really try not to put myself on deadlines where I need something to be done at a certain time. And I think that is been a big key with everything going on.
And I have to admit, I was kind of in that boat today too, just because did traveling this weekend, did traveling the previous week. And I'm just like, wait a minute, it's the 25th. How is it the 25th? And I'm like, oh, I know I record with somebody today. And then I checked my calendar earlier. I'm like, I better message JD. Because, somehow the month is now gone.
Yeah. I can't believe how fast. It's just gone by so fast.
So, yeah, I will agree. A large part of this, you got to acknowledge up front that you ain't perfect and you didn't set out to be. So,
exactly.
And you want to talk to somebody who in her chats is always giving someone grace for that? Definitely check out her chats and her streams if you need that kind of hangout, because JD will be one of the first people in our group to tell you, hey, be nice to you.
Yes. You gotta be nice to you. You gotta just embrace it, embrace the chaos.
Yes. So, knowing what I know about some of your books, as a writer, what advice do you have for a homeschooling parent? Like, are you working while they're working sometimes, if you're able, and so on?
I would love to be working while they're working. That's kind of like one of my, I guess, goals when it comes to homeschooling eventually, is to get to that point where we could all sit at a table and do maybe sprints together where they work on their thing, I work on my thing, and we're good. That is not gonna happen.
You have slightly younger children still too, as part of that, I imagine.
So my youngest is about to turn 9. We're also a very, very neurodivergent family. So it is chaos and chaos monkeys everywhere. And sometimes it is very much on the fly thinking, okay, well, if we can't get this particular work done that they need for their curriculum, right? Well, how can I get this done in a way that they're learning it and it's not a struggle? So a lot of times when I'm homeschooling, I have to be fully engaged with their homeschooling process. So that being said, I try to fit my writing in when they're at activities. So they're both thankfully on the same swim team this coming season. So that's an hour where I know I can sit beside the pool and not in the pool with them and focus on my own work. I also try to schedule appointments with myself to write, whether it's getting out to my writing group on Monday nights Although I know Monday nights when I go to the writing group, it tends to be more chatting and less about writing. So it's really knowing yourself and like how you work. So if I really need to get something done, I will usually go to a library or a coffee shop and I make an appointment. All right, I'm going to be here for 2 hours. This is my time to get it done. And magically, I usually get it pretty close to done in that time. At least what I set out to do. So it's really about knowing yourself, your habits, and what you can work in your schedule.
And what a great model thing this as a school teacher that you're being for your kids, because eventually, if they haven't already, they've probably caught on to that you go to work.
Yeah. It's like I'm working now. And even sometimes like my office is right next to their rooms too. So if I need to, I will shut the door and I'm like, I'm working now. I'm streaming now. This is, unless someone is bleeding or vomiting, I like go find another adult in the house. There's at least 3 others or 1 other at any given time in the house. I'm like, go find someone else. I am not available.
That's a huge skill, definitely, that a lot of kids probably are appreciating learning. So thank you for, again, modeling it, because I have taught high schoolers who didn't have that skill yet. And I'm like, okay, you and your siblings are going to love this. And it's very much that, hey, unless ABC applies, I'm busy for X amount of time. And communication. You guys, even though the chaos, must sound like you guys have really good communication skills in the house too.
For the most part. And that has really been a key. Like, and that's something I have always tried to model for the kids is just clear communication, because communication really helps with everything. It really does.
Very much agreed. So then let's add another layer. As someone who lives with chronic illnesses of my own, how do you balance like writing, the kids, all of that? When a flare up happens, it doesn't care. What do you do?
Yeah, it's chronic illness has been not, it was not something I was expecting in my life, right? And it never is. And so I think the communication is pretty key again when it comes to like how I'm feeling and health wise. For myself, the other adults in the house, my kids, if I'm having a really bad day and I don't feel good, um, I will let the kids know. I'm like, hey, y'all, I can't do this today. I don't feel good. You can't be yelling right now. I have a really bad headache. Please. And then I'll usually try and give them an option. Like, if you're around me, let's be quiet. If you really want to yell, let's maybe find somewhere else to do it, like outside or into a pillow kind of thing. Or, my youngest, she's going to be 9 soon, but she still likes to climb on me sometimes. And so if I'm having a bad arthritis day, I'm like, I can't do that right now. That really hurts. And I try to be upfront with her about why. And then I try to give her another option. If you really want to climb, let's climb on the couch, or let's climb outside on a tree, or let's go jump at the jump park or something. It really is about that communication and finding how to mitigate it, right? And knowing like, okay, what's going to escalate my condition? How can I maintain where I'm at now? Or, or even just recognizing I need a bed day and I'll reach out to another adult in my household. And like, I am not good with the kids today. I'm going to be in bed. And usually someone will step up and take over for me. So
Have your support systems, yo.
yeah.
Yeah. My mom has RA, and it's kind of the same thing. She knows when to reach out to people and put those, and they're not hard boundaries, but they're more like informative boundaries. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had those days like when I'm alone with the kids, like my parents are on a trip, my husband's on a work trip or has to go into the office for the day, and I'll be like, and if I'm in a bed day, then usually I invite the kids to come in bed with me. Like, all right, y'all, we're having a movie day. Just chill. Or and thankfully now my kids are old enough too that I can say, hey, would you take this back to the kitchen for me? Would you go get me X, Y, and Z from the kitchen? Or, go let the dogs out for me. And so that's also really helpful too. So yeah.
You can kind of give them like a short little list
A
depending
short
on
little
too.
list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that they're old enough, I can usually be like, okay, let's not cook in the kitchen, but yeah, that's the fun ADHD part too, because then you gotta like, okay, now are they gonna listen or are they gonna go on a side quest and it's gonna be 3 hours before I see them again and I have to go investigate the weird noises.
Yeah, I grew up with a brother just like that.
Yeah.
Mom would ask him to do one thing, and the next thing you know, the kitchen's been painted a whole new color for no reason.
Ooh.
Kind of, yeah. Mom was not happy. Mom was not happy.
Oh my goodness.
So, what communication tips otherwise do you have for like the adults in your home? Is it just texting or like how far in advance do you communicate schedules? Do you have a common schedule?
So
So on and so forth.
it's hard. Like, because we have so many adults and like my dad does contracting work, my husband works, I work and manage the kids. My mom's usually home, which is nice, but we share a lot of calendars, Google calendars, and sharing is very helpful. um we also utilize texting a little bit, but not a lot. And we will utilize phone calls sometimes. I will say that the two big things we use the most: Discord and a DAC board, which is a funny, like, a DAC board is very similar to those skylight calendars you've seen. But we built ours ourselves and put the DAC board software into it. So we use an old monitor set up on the wall in the kitchen. It's not touchscreen. Everything's done by keyboard and mouse or whatever. And we have on there, usually we have our schedule. We'll have the weather. We have usually a countdown to like a kid's birthday or someone's birthday in the house, or like Christmas or Halloween or something like that on there. And then we get weather alerts. So when we are under like a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, those pop out on there. That's good. And then because we've got 3 different levels in our house, and all the adults are on different levels at any given time or out of the house, we use Discord. We have a family Discord server that we will use to message with each other or hop on to do a voice chat real quick. Or if someone's just chilling at the computer, they'll have the voice up so that way we can talk to each other real quick. And that's very helpful. So
That's a really good idea too, because especially as the kids grow older, if they don't necessarily have cell phone reception, but they can hop on a Wi-Fi or a hotspot, they can still get a hold of you.
Exactly. And now we've actually got the kids, those, I don't even know, they're they're like little smartwatches with a phone number, but only I'm the only one on. So they were starting to kind of get them on board with that. But what's also nice is we have family in DC a lot, and they're in our Discord server as well. So they can easily contact us through that as well without having to go texting or whatnot. It was also really helpful when my brother was in the Army and he was in Hawaii. And so going back and forth through the Discord was a lot easier than trying to, say, calculate different time zones. So it's like I could message him and know that he would get it when he woke up.
And also, even then, with the kids, I assume they're part of the server and they can get on and hang out with cousins if that applies.
They will be
too.
eventually. Yeah. We don't have, they do have Facebook Messenger kids, which they can use with their cousins and stuff if their cousins were on there and that kind of thing. So yeah. Yeah.
So don't be afraid of tech around your kids. Find a way to include them.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Definitely. So what power lies in a parent who is also a creative person and writing constantly around your kids? Like, what do you think you're showing them other than just, I have a good work ethic, I know how to get work in? What the creativity aspect, what good does it do, you think?
I don't know whether to be proud or like a little scared about this. So I would say that one, that they're not afraid to be creative as well. So one, there's been times when my kids are not, they don't like writing, I guess is a good way. Like writing by hand, any sort of writing by hand exercise, they loathe and it is a struggle. Ask them to write 3 sentences and it could be the end of the world. They would much rather go read an entire book than write a paragraph, which is insane in my brain. But they love stories. My daughter reads voraciously. She will read, she goes through books. They love Audible books, and they will both listen to books, everything's books. The amount of money I have spent on books, that is the downside.
And children's books are no cheaper than adult books, sadly.
No, I will say, find those discount codes and like reading program loyalty programs where you can. Thrift books, Amazon, everything. But I will say what's cool, what has been really cool about it is seeing that my kids are not afraid of writing their own stories, even this early. They will find workarounds. So one of the biggest things they'll do, especially with my son, who we're pretty sure is dyslexic, he will use the voice to text option on his Chromebook to write any sort of document that he can or story. And they will use it as an excuse to get tech time. They're like, oh, but I want to work on my story. Can I have my tablet? And I'm like, I can't say no to that.
I can't disempower them. At the same time, I have to make sure they do the thing they said they were going to do.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, well, yeah, I guess. So they get very creative, and I think that's been really cool. And my daughter she not only likes reading, but she likes drawing and stuff. And so one of the things she's mentioned, she's like, oh, I want to be an illustrator when I grow up. I want to draw the pictures in the books. Or she'll say, no, I want to write my own story. I want to be an author. And I mean, don't let that fool you. She's been through like she's like, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a martial arts instructor and have my own dojo. And I'm like, okay, you go, you do you, boo.
Hey, the fact that she sees herself as potentially able to do any of them is actually kind of cool too. Kudos to you guys for giving her that sense of empowerment. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. So speaking of martial arts, how do martial arts help you out? Because I imagine with getting swelling and stiffness moving, there's certain things you can reliably go to for habit. More than that, though?
More than that. So I think part of that is finding the right dojo and the right martial arts style is a big part. with the story, the dojo we found, I found back in 2007 or 2017. I'm sorry. When we first moved to the Wake Forest area in North Carolina. And I originally started this journey to help my son get some energy out. ADHD kid, very hyperactive. He's also has sensory processing disorder. And so he's already kind of sensory seeking. On top of it, there was a lot. And
in that case makes him very aware of his body. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So we, started finding a martial arts place that we liked, and I found one that was close by. It was a Japanese-based martial arts, which was already something we were very, like my husband and I both love traveling to Japan. I speak some Japanese. So I was like, oh, well, this is cool. And for a 4-year-old kid, being a ninja was just pretty cool. We called it ninja school. He loves it. So fast forward. And I always told my kids, like, when they got to the point in their training at the dojo where they call it's level 1, where the adults start. But usually kids get to about age 7 or 8 and they can join that class. They are graduated out of the kids class and start training with the adults. And I always told them, like, well, when you get to that level, I'll join you and we'll do it together. It'll be a family thing. And then fast forward, my son hits that point and I have been diagnosed with chronic illness and I'm really struggling with health issues. I'm having bad time. I've had multiple surgeries by that point. Just struggling with health and energy and not feeling good, a lot of inflammation. And so I did not join him on the mat when he started there. And so he's now a red belt. So he's like 3 belts away from his black belt if he so chose.
He's a lot closer than I thought. Congratulations.
And he's taken a month off, or not a month. He took a year off of training last year as well. So that is one thing about this. So the martial art we study is Toshindo, and it's a newer style of martial art. Our grandmaster, the guy who invented the style, is still alive and still teaching in his 70s. So our teacher at our dojo is one of his students, basically. It's pretty much a direct line. So after a year or two of struggling with the chronic illness and watching my kids, go to the dojo, and I start seeing other adults, more adults that I've sat with on the bench for a few years, right? Starting to join the classes. And I'm like, I'm seeing veterans from the Army, like dealing with illnesses, injuries and stuff, but still out there on the mats training. And I'm like, I kind of got to the point where, well, maybe the movement would help, just being active. And that is one of the things with my chronic illness, is that exercise is encouraged and it helps, but it can also make you feel really bad at the same time.
And you gotta know your body.
You gotta balance. Yeah. So it's one of those, is like, so I just went for it one day. I'm like, you know what? I was going to wait until Ada went up. My daughter went up to level 1 and started with the adults, but I ended up starting kind of in between the kids. And it did. There's things I struggle with, but this community, this particular dojo, and this particular style, because there's no competitions in the style, there's no, you test for your belts, but you don't, it's not like you have to do things perfectly. It's, can you still get away? Because it's all self-defense, basically. Can you defeat the bad guy in a way that's, you're still protected and you're still able to master the, the techniques or make them work for you, right? So it's all about kind of accommodating your body and your needs, which is something I have to do anyway. So yeah.
It sounds like compared to other styles, now mind you, I'm thinking like, ninjutsu and taekwondo, it sounds a little bit more passive.
Jiu-jitsu. It can be, because it is more self-defense style, and focuses on self-defense. A lot of it is learning how to strategize to prevent the escalation of the fight. So a really great goal, like one of my favorite quotes is, the best way to get out of a fight, or I'm paraphrasing and this is horrible, but like the best way to get out of a fight or win a fight is to not have a fight at all, right? And so really it's like, if you get it to this point, that's like, that sucks. Really shouldn't have gotten that far, but here's how you get out of it if you did, kind of thing.
And that really feeds into more the knowing how your body can work around someone else, but not without, for you, you're going to be careful of your flare-up points, I imagine.
Yeah, anyway, yeah. So like one of the things, like the key points in this martial art is rolling and learning how to fall. And my body does not roll.
Your body's like, this pretzel thing, I don't stretch.
I don't, It's weird. It's like, I want to stretch this way, not this way. So I'm just like, okay. So I know that rolls are like not my strong suit, and I do anything to avoid them in like training and real life, but I still practice them so that way, if I do have to, I can do them somewhat, but I'm not going to aim to do that in the middle of a fight. Right. So
great advice. So your fight scenes, I imagine, are pretty well choreographed too for that reason, right?
I tried to be. Actually, one of the first workshops I took at our dojo was how to get out of a chokehold, right? And the whole workshop was getting out of chokeholds. And I took it for the sole purpose of writing a scene where I have my FBI agent in one of my books get stuck in a chokehold. And I'm like, how did this happen? She's got to learn how to get out of it, but she doesn't get out of it because she passes out and, ends up kidnapped. But, I got to make it realistic. Right. So it has helped in some of those, in writing some of the scenes. I would not say my fight scenes are well choreographed because I'm not great at fight scenes. I tried to be. I think I've gotten a little better.
I have to say yours are pretty good. You don't have 3 arms and 3 legs showing up in yours as often. You're more aware of placement, I guess I would say.
Okay, I didn't realize that was a thing.
I'm giving you that credit, having read some of your stuff, going, I don't find myself as a reader going, why is there suddenly a 3rd arm in your books?
Okay, well, maybe there we go. Then maybe it isn't so bad as I thought.
We'll give her that credit. So we're going to get wrapping up and wind it down. Are there any peoples you would like to give shout out to in the community? You've mentioned some awesome people in your life.
Yeah. So Sarah Cannon, of course, of course. There is one of my writing bestie, Jax McQueen. She is amazing. She has some really great romances out there. And Remy, he's amazing. I love his work. Very adult though. So his stuff is pretty adult. But I will definitely get links and stuff out to you if you would like to share their stuff as well.
Description box below, y'all.
Yeah.
So let us be reminded, where can we find you, all the epic awesome things you do, and do you have any cool projects possibly coming out in the future we should be aware of?
Yeah, so I'm here on YouTube as well, JD Robinson, and let's see, you can find me at my website, which is satulawrites.com, and I have a hype page, which is just hype.com/@Satula. As for projects, I am currently trying to finish my Legacy series, which is that's the first book there, which is Legacy of the Necromancer. So I am currently working on book 3, Wrath of the Gods. That's the portal fantasy, goes back and forth. Necromancers versus witches, generational war they're trying to end. The sides are not quite as black and white as they seem. And so, yeah, I think I'm trying to finish that series before I get back to my Frostbite series, which is my urban fantasy set in Seattle with vampires and other supernatural fun things.
If you want a good read for the upcoming fall season, all of her books would probably give you some of the vibes you're looking for. Definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for hanging with me today so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Check out her stuff, and above all, everybody, take care of yourself. We'll see you later.